Hey, Shalom. I like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Akakwadash. I like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutation, and blessings to the elect who firmly believe on Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Now, the title of this lesson is going to be Swedish scientist floats eating human flesh as a solution to global climate change. Swedish scientist floats eating human flesh as solution to global climate change. Now this is an article, that I came across, and it's roughly it's kind of recent. It came out and or was published September 9th, 2019. And it's well, let me play this video right here.
I didn't know much about Amazon other than, you order stuff and they send it to you. And then once I got here, I was impressed. They encourage you to learn and try new things. I feel motivated. I really want to take advantage of that.
Now that that's pretty much was getting into the perks or bonuses, if you will, as far as cannibalism. And I'm gonna read a little bit more. It says, well, the first part was what you saw in the video, and it says, continuing on, it says some of the talking points at the seminar included whether humans were too selfish to live sustainably and if cannibalism is the solution to food sustainability in the future. Why? Because these Edomites know that they're pretty much going to take away the food supply. They're going to take away the food supply leading up to the times of Jacob's trouble, because essentially, the elites of this society want to orchestrate a famine. They want to orchestrate a famine, and one thing about when a famine is in place, the lack of food and water, is the people are going to resort to cannibalism. So what this article is about is pretty much the elites are promoting cannibalism. They are promoting cannibalism because it's going to be a thing of the future and the thing of what's going to be happening when all hell breaks loose in the society. To pretty much ease the thought of eating another human being. Because here it is in our right mind, we know it's not sane to be eating humans. But one thing about the media, what they do is promote. And the more you have something in your face, the more you become susceptible unto it. Right? It says when asked during an interview after his talk if he personally would try human flesh, Soderlund said he was open to the idea. I feel somewhat hesitant, but to not appear overly conservative, I'd have to say I'd be open to at least tasting it, he told Sweden's TV4. He suggested more plausible options such as eating pets and insects. Before human meat becomes the next cuisine trend, however, history shows there are potential health risks to cannibalism. A tribe in Papua New Guinea practiced eating their dead as an alternative to allowing them to be consumed by worms according to the standard. The cultural practice led to an epidemic of disease called Kuru, also known as laughing death. Right. According to the U.S. National Library of Medicine, the disease is caused by an infectious protein found in contaminated human brain tissue. The practice of cannibalism among the people of New Guinea came to end in 1960. That's pretty much the article. However, you see, this is the brink of where these Edomites start promoting cannibalism. Because essentially that's what's going to be happening, in these last days. That's something that happened in the past. When we read the scriptures. I'm going to start here in Second Kings, the 6th chapter, during the time of Samaria, where the Lord, pretty much had a famine happen within the land. So this is 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 25. It says, "And there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver." So here it is. They were selling doves, excrements, waste, if you will, for 5 pieces of silver, and they had a ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver. Ass is a donkey, right? And it says, verse 26, "And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, Help my lord, O king. And he said, If the Lord do not help thee, when shall I help thee? Out of the barnfloor or out of the winepress? And the king said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, This woman said unto me, Give thy son that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son and did eat him," which is what? This is cannibalism. This is something that happened in the past, you know. And it says, "And I said unto her on the next day, Give thy son that we may eat him. And she have hid her son." So she didn't keep her end of the bargain, right? It says, "And it came to pass when the king heard the words of the woman, that he rent his clothes, and he passed by upon the wall. And the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh. Then he said, The Most High do so, and more also to me, if the head of Elisha, the son of Shaphat, Salakiah, shall stand on him this day. But Elisha sat in the house, and the elder sat with him, and the king sent a man from before him. But ere the message came to him, he said to the elder, See ye how the son of a murderer hath sent to take away mine head? Look, when the messenger cometh, shut the door, and hold him fast at the door. Is not the sound of his master's feet behind him. And while he yet talked with him, behold, the messenger came down unto him, and he said, Behold, this evil is of the Lord. What should I wait for the Lord any longer?" But pretty much is back. The point was pretty much in verse 28 and 29. To prove that cannibalism did exist. During the time of the famine of Samaria. Not only that, but the famine also took place during the time of 70 A.D. And we read that in the curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, right? Let me try to find a verse real quick. Let me see. And that's why you see a lot of these movies, getting into like a zombie apocalypse. I want to say about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, there was a scenario that happened to where, I believe it was in Florida, where this guy was pretty much on bath salt, and he started eating a man's face. They was promoting cannibalism. Really, I feel like that was a test, a trial run, for when all hell breaks loose in the society. So whatever substance they released upon that individual and how he reacted to it. So these Edomites, they know what they're doing. He's a mad scientist, man. He's a mad scientist. Let me see. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 52. Now, this siege is talking about the siege of 70 A.D., when the Romans pretty much besieged Jerusalem, and Israel had to flee from Roman persecution. The individuals who didn't flee, pretty much got trapped in the land, and they had experienced a famine. So it says, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 52. "And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest, throughout all the land. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy power hath given thee. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body." What's the fruit of your own body? Your children. "The flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy power hath given thee in the siege, and in the straitness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee." Now, this was one of the curses that fell upon our people, for transgressing the law, statutes, and commandments of the Heavenly Father. So what these scenarios are going to come back, These scenarios are going to come back to 2/3 of our people because they refuse to hearken. It says, so that man is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother, toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat, because he have nothing left him in the siege. And that's what these Edomites want to do in this present time. For one, they want to cause a famine, also known as starvation, to weaken the people and to prevent them from uprising. And then what? People are going to have to succumb to cannibalism, just like that movie The Road, where you see groups of men, traveling looking for humans to eat. So a thing of fiction is going to be something of reality. It's going to be an event of reality very soon. Very soon. But the elect is going to be protected from all of this madness, because we're doing the things that the Lord commanded us to do present day, right? It says, and in the straightness, Salakia, yeah, I'm going to read verse 57 again, and toward her young one that cometh, no, let me see, yeah, verse 55, Salakia. It says, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he have nothing left him in the siege. And in the straightness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in all thy gates. And when you get into the history, they were eating grass, they were eating dirt, they were eating their own belts. If I'm not mistaken, they were eating their shoes, and the last resort was pretty much eating, their children. That's what happened during the times of 70 AD. But the times that's coming has never been known to man. It's never been seen before. Events that's coming that has never been recorded. So how can you prepare, for a scenario like that? You can't, man. It's gonna be all bad out here. Real quick, let me get Second Ezra chapter 6 verse 22. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. What are that? What are those? Your supermarkets, your corner stores, your Dollar Trees, your Family Dollars. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Because why? A famine is going to be orchestrated within the land. A famine is going to be orchestrated in the land, and that's all according to the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Last and final scripture I want to end off at, Lamentations chapter 4 verse 9. It says, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. How is one slain with hunger? A famine. So you can only imagine the agonizing pain and suffering that you got to go through for your own body to eat at itself. For your own body to eat at itself and to die from starvation. So essentially individuals, your mind is going to start playing tricks on you. You're going to start suffering from dementia, due to the lack of food and water, and then what? Human beings are going to start looking like lunch meat, So what? To prevent, that suffering of being slain from hunger, they're going to seek to eat out human beings, performing cannibalism. It says, for these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. So what? That's essentially going to happen. And we've been teaching about these things, and now you see articles coming about promoting cannibalism. So it's only a matter of time. All the prophecies are being touched on, spoken about, and it's only a matter of time before it be manifested, So, Lord willing, Akim was edified. I like to give all praises, glory, and honors to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakak Kwadash. I like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutations, and blessings to the elect. Shalom.